Hey, what's up, guys? Breaking news. First of all, subscribe to this freaking channel, like this freaking video, and hit that freaking notification button on the bottom. Now, check this out. Breaking news. Clippers just got better. They traded Justice Winslow, um, Eric Bledsoe, Keon Johnson, and a future second round pick to the Portland Trailblazers for Norman Powell, Robert Covington. I'm not sure who else, but pretty good pickups for the Clippers. Yeah, no, I told you guys this before I show you this clip. I mentioned this to everybody about a month or two ago. Said that the Clippers are a very lethal team. Very lethal team, very dangerous team, because even without Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, they're getting this done. They beat the Lakers by 1 point yesterday. Reggie Hot Sauce Jackson was on fire. Marcus Morris, you can't say enough about him. You got Nicholas Batum, but now you got sharpshooters as in Norman Powell and Robert Covington. And my God, check this clip out.
Those teams. Our senior NBA insider Adrian Wojnarowski joins us now. So Woj, the Clippers, they just made a trade. What details can you give us?
Yeah, Portland and the Clippers acquiring, Robert Covington and Norman Powell in this trade with L.A. and L.A. sending off Justice Winslow, Eric Bledsoe, Keon Johnson, and a 2025 second-round pick that will come via the Detroit Pistons. And for the Clippers, listen, this is them trying to set themselves up with Norman Powell, certainly a high-level two-way guard who has multiple years left on his contract, just signed that extension in Portland. And now you've got a high-level scoring guard who also defends his position very well. And for the Blazers, listen, the emergence of Anthony Simons this season, their terrific young combo guard, allows them to move off of the rest of Powell's money. And you're going to want to sign Simons to an extension this summer. And both these teams, Malika, they're going to continue to be active between now and the trade deadline next week. I think there's more moves for both to make. But I think for L.A., now the chance, they're looking down the road. Norman Powell's under contract, and they have a player who, really fits in well with PG and Kawhi Leonard.
And we will be covering all of those moves as they're made. But Woj, yesterday after the game, Clippers coach Ty Lue, he said that we know Kawhi's probably not going to come back. That's a direct quote. And he also said, we don't know the status of PG. So what can you tell us about the status of that Clippers superstar duo?
I think it's always been something of a long shot of Kawhi Leonard playing this season, but the Clippers haven't ruled it out. They just got to see where they are later in the year as his rehab progresses, where the team is, how he feels, what it looks like long term for him, because that's the important part for the Clippers. They haven't closed that door yet, but I think Ty Lue is echoing the idea, that it's still a fairly short window with an ACL injury for him to play again this season and what's left in the season when he might be ready. And then Paul George, listen, this is an injury that they've hoped would heal with time. They've pushed back, his tests, some more testing into February. They'll see how it looks, how it's healed. Of course, you want, if you can, to avoid surgery on it. But again, I think there's still uncertainty around both. But the trade today, I think, really sets up the Clippers long term. I think for both teams, you look at projecting them out, it made sense for both sides.
Absolutely. And as Ty Lue said, Paul George is going to have an MRI in the coming weeks. Woj, thank you so much for joining us and for all of your reporting. So I want to stick with the Clippers here, though, because they won the game last night. But I want to open it up to our panel of Chiney Ogwumike and also welcome in NBA champion Kendrick Perkins. And Perk, I want to start with you here. And we also have Zach Lowe joining us. Perk, where do the Clippers go from here after what you heard from Woj?
Well, one thing I know about Ty Lue, from him coaching me in Boston and coaching me in Cleveland, Ty Lue wants to win. Like, give him some guys that he could go out there and compete with, and he's going to figure it out. And I think where the Clippers are right now, they're right the 8th seed sitting at 500, and they're like, hold on. If we could get a Norman Powell and Robert Covington, which they did, and maybe a Kawhi Leonard in March or April along with a Paul George, hey, we can really make a run at this, because what they figured out is that Reggie Jackson could hold his own. Zubac has been playing well. So the Clippers are saying, while we're sitting up here talking about Golden State, Phoenix, the Lakers, Memphis, all these other teams, they're saying, wait a second, our aspirations is still to win a championship, and I actually love this move by the Clippers.
Zach, what do you make of this trade?
I think it's a great trade for the Clippers. Perk is dead on. Steve Ballmer, yeah, Paul George is hurt, Kawhi Leonard's hurt. He doesn't believe in throwing seasons away. This trade helps them right now, but it's more about next year. This is a salvo from the Clippers. We are going into next season hoping to be the favorites to win the NBA championship with Kawhi and Paul George back. Let's break it down. Robert Covington is a free agent this summer. Eric Bledsoe, Justice Winslow were not in the Clippers' long-term plans. This deal could really just be Keon Johnson and a second-round pick for Norm Powell. If that's the case, that's a home run for the Clippers. Norm Powell is a great fit for them. And by the way, they can still re-sign Robert Covington. I think Steve Ballmer can afford a pretty big luxury tax payment, and it's maybe a hedge against what if Nick Batum opts out of his deal and leaves in free agency. Well, then we can have Covington sort of do that same role. He gets a home run for the Clippers. The Blazers, I think it's a little bit disappointing return, but this is for the Clippers. This is a signal to the league. We are coming in loaded next season.
Yeah, you know it's going to be a good day when all of us agree. I loved this trade, for both parties involved, offloading the checkbooks for Portland. But more importantly, when it comes to competitive teams that we have high expectations for, that's the Clippers. And, if there was a theme from last night to tonight, their veterans lead the way for them.
Yeah.
Reggie Jackson, if you look at Serge Ibaka having a big output, Marcus Morris Sr., plus the great coaching of Ty Lue. Then you add in a Norm Powell, who, shout out to Norm Powell, he trains with someone that I know, AJ Diggs. And so to bring him back to LA, my trainer, and then also adding, just development. They've done a good job of developing the guys that they've drafted, but more importantly, putting together a group that is very veteran, very experienced, and very poised. So next year, they're going to be right in the conversation, as Zach said, for championship.
Well, and you mentioned it, Janae. Serge Ibaka, I was in the building last night, Perk, and Serge Ibaka, he was so instrumental for what they were able to do and the energy that they were able to kind of put together. But the key for him has been that he's been healthy recently. And you know who else is healthy? Klay Thompson. So I want to stay in the Western Conference here and show you what Klay did last night, because...
listen. I watched the Clippers, and let's say this about the Clippers, too. Before we get KP, we'll get the technical difficulties addressed and get him back. Before he gets back, let's address this, too.
Okay.
People are lucky. They should feel lucky that Kawhi Leonard and Paul George ain't healthy. Because Morris balled last night, dropped 29. Reggie Jackson is just a clutch dude. He ain't scared of anything. And that's a big-time play. He caused the mismatch against Reeves, spin off the baseline. Russell Westbrook needed to do a better job doubling up on him. He didn't do that. But I ain't trying to be hard on Russell Westbrook as hard as he played. But the Clippers, boy, people should be lucky that Kawhi Leonard and Paul George are hurt, because the Clippers will make some noise, too.
I think
Go
Perk
ahead,
should be
KP.
good
You
now.
ready? You
Perk,
there?
you good?
Yeah,
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, I'm here. I wasn't going to let you off the hook. Hey, Stephen A., look, I know you're in L.A., and right now you're wishful thinking. Look, let me ask you a question. Did you tap that loud yesterday? Did you go by one of those dispensaries? Did you get some of those Girl Scout cookies, that Chris Brown brand? Did you happen to get on the weed? Because right now you tripping. Right now you tripping. Let me tell you why you tripping. Look, I understand Anthony Davis playing phenomenal basketball right now. He looks great. That's what happens when you get injured and you sit out. You come back with a different type of passion and a different type of mindset. But the fact of the matter is this. The Lakers still stink, okay? And when it comes down to the Western Conference, it's 3 teams for sure that I know that they can't beat in the 7-game series, even with a healthy LeBron James the way he was playing. And that's the Memphis Grizzlies, the Phoenix Suns, and the Golden State Warriors.
We agree.
So when you come on here telling me about oh, the Lakers, but with the way AD playing, people better watch out. Who better watch out? Because their ultimate goal is to win a championship, not to just have a deep run in the playoffs or just get into the playoffs. Right now, the Lakers stinks. They stink defensively. They're moving in slow motion. I mean, Reggie Hot Sauce Jackson had it his way last night. He attacked the paint all day long, all night long. And so at the end of the day, you know as well as I know, by the way, you're looking fresh. I like that fit today. I got to congratulate you again. But look, in your words, stay off the weed.
Listen.
Stay off of it.
Hold on. Nobody could do that but me. I understand. Good try.
I just did it. I just did it.
Here's the deal. The weed. Here's the deal, okay? I love Memphis. You know I got the Warriors winning it. Phoenix is the best team in basketball right now. They're no joke. I get all of that. All I'm saying is part of the reason we've been lamenting the state of affairs with the Lakers outside of injuries and guard play, their defense was a problem. We were talking about Anthony Davis and where the hell was he? He has returned. And I'm saying to you, if LeBron were to return, because he was playing like an MVP, he's putting up MVP numbers now. If LeBron was to return with this Anthony Davis, it makes things incredibly interesting in the Western Conference because we can't definitively say they can't beat Memphis, they can't beat Phoenix. I don't believe they could beat the Warriors because of the Warriors shooting. And you see my boy Klay Thompson coming. We'll talk about that later. You see that's what's coming on there. But I'm just saying, LeBron and AD, this version of AD, it should make people at least raise their eyebrow and say, whoa, wait a minute now.
Yeah, if they're all healthy and all on the court at the same time.
We can have a 7-game series, KP, like in the Western Conference semifinals. We can have a 7-game series between Phoenix and L.A. or Memphis and L.A. It could be interesting. That's all.
So there you have it. Clippers, I'm telling you, like I called this about a month or two ago, and I just saw how they're playing. I saw their organization head to toe, A to Z. A lot of people don't give this team enough credit, and it just finally it came like to the media because Stephen A. Smith said it today. Must have watched my show or something, but he actually said today, like if they had, he basically said the whole league is lucky that Kawhi and Paul George are out. They are 100% lucky because you have this team without any stars doing some damage. They're 7th spot right now. Or was it 8th? 7th spot right now. And quite frankly, they're, they could get better without Paul George, without Kawhi Leonard, because now you picked up Norman Powell, you pick up Robert Covington, sharpshooters. They can shoot the ball. Norman Powell is so underrated. He did a phenomenal job in Toronto. I don't know what the hell he did in Portland. They didn't use him properly, but he's a good player. Clippers, I'm telling you guys, if they get into the playoffs and Kawhi Leonard comes back, Paul George comes back, it's gonna be a dangerous team. Like I know a lot of people are talking about Memphis, Golden State, Phoenix Suns. I'm telling you guys, the writing is on the wall. If Clippers get these guys back, it's gonna be insane, 100%. Check this trade out. Adrian Wojnarowski. I can't pronounce his name. Wojnarowski. Sorry, but he dropped a Woj bomb, and it's phenomenal. Good pickup for the not Lakers, but good pickup for the Clippers, and looked for them to join the Phoenix Suns, Golden State Warriors, Memphis Grizzlies in that discussion if Paul George and or actually once Paul George and Kawhi Leonard come back. Watch out for that. Jag Manga at Jaggy Sports.